Guys, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray you all well, inshallah. This series will be dedicated to the recitation of the Quran. So every now and then, because of many requests, I'll be releasing a video on how to recite, for example, Al-Istiʿādhah, A'udhu Billah, the Basmala, Bismillah, Surah Fatiha, and maybe other small surahs as a form of, reward and encouragement for people to learn the Quran. So it's free content, obviously, and obviously the virtues to reading the Quran are many. It's needless to say, and it's very important for Muslims to have a natural connection with the Quran, because the Quran itself, without it, there will be no Islam. The Quran itself will act as an intercessor for you in your grave, let alone Day of Judgment. The Quran itself, like the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, an old man will come to you in your grave, and you will say to that old man, "Who are you?" And that old man will say to you in your grave, "That I am the Quran. I kept you thirsty during the days and I kept you up at night." Having a strong connection with the Book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that not only provides guidance, justice, healing in the dunya, it's something that actually goes with you to Al-Akhirah, where all your family and friends and belongings will stay, but the Kitab of Allah will follow you, inshallah. So this is why we should have a passion to read the Quran, the passion to understand it, and a passion to recite it the way it was revealed unto our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Today, inshallah, will be short. We're going to go through what's known as Al-Istiʿādhah. Al-Istiʿādhah is seeking refuge in Allah from whom? Shaitan, the rejected, the cursed. So we're going to go through the recitation of this bi'idhnillah. So it goes like this. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. We're going to break that down, inshallah. So as you can see on the screen, the first word is a'udhu. A'udhu. You have the hamza in the beginning here, which is circled, and then you have u and then dhu. The hamza has a fatha on top, as you can see. When there's a fatha on something, what fatha stands for, you may have heard fatha, dhamma, kasra. Fatha means you open your mouth, not in an exaggerated way, like I don't want to do it on camera because I think my canines will scare you, but just very faintly, you just say a'udhu, very calm, light. There's no stress on here, it's not the ain. Say it with me, and then we move on to the ain, which is followed by the waw. And what do we see, guys, on top of the ain here? We see a dhamma. So we said fatha means to open. What does a dhamma then stand for? Dhamma comes from the word dham, which means to kind of circulate or hug. And what is it that's being made circle? The lips here. Ooh, a-u, a-u, with the dhamma on the ain. And then we have the letter dhal here. The dhal, dear brothers and sisters, is pronounced just as you almost pronounce the th in the English language. The. Calm, no stress at all. The. That's the sound. So we say a'udhu, calm, dhu. And the tongue should be kind of visible between the two sets of teeth. Most common mistakes is when people say a'udhu. That's wrong. That's wrong. The letter dhal is not du, or it's not zu, as mashallah a lot of the Asian subcontinent pronounce. It's not like that. It's a'udhu. Very calm, very softly pronounced. Dhu. A'udhu. 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 Very easily done. No stress whatsoever. A'udhu. Then we move on to billahi. So we've covered fatha, which means to open. We've covered dhamma, which means to something to become circle, which are the lips here. Ooh. And then now we're coming on to kasra. What does kasra mean? Kasra comes from a verb which is known as kasara, which means to break. And what are we doing here? In a figurative way, we're kind of like breaking or separating the jaws. We're saying E. The lower jaw kind of comes slightly forward. E. You're smiling. A'udhu billahi. B. Billahi. A'udhu billahi. Like that. So same with the ba and the ha on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. A'udhu billahi أعوذ بالله. Very easy, halfway done. The next part is من الشيطان. من الشيطان. Again, we're following the sequence of the kasra. Me. We can't say ma or me. In the English language, because a lot of us who speak English, especially from Britain, the English accent or the British accent is a very lazy accent. So, for example, like now, as you can see, I'm not really moving my lips, but you can understand almost every word I'm saying. The Arabic language is not like that. The Arabic language, you need to be a bit more expressive, a little bit more open and articulate, so the words come out clearly. And that's because in the Arabic language, there are letters unique to the language which don't come in the English language, and they need a little bit more focus from your mind, and therefore opening your mouth and using your mouth in a more active way, unlike the English language, will help you, inshallah, reach those letters in a clean manner, bi'idhnillah. So, me, minash shaytani. A common mistake here is people, they just fly through the sheen. Minash shaytani. No, there's a shadda on the letter sheen. And I don't want to mention a lot of rules, because if I mention the names of rules now, it'll be very confusing. I just want to focus on reciting it soundly, and then later on, inshallah, I'll actually mention the rules and explain them as best as I can. But here on the sheen, don't move off quickly. Give it a little bit of time. Minash, minash, minash. And the noon here is light. We don't say minash. We say minash, minash shaytani. The ta obviously is a heavy letter. The ta is a heavy letter. And obviously the noon has a sakin. So let's repeat it so far from what we've got. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان. The last word here is ar-rajim. Ar-rajim. The ra here is pronounced heavy because it has a fatha on top, as you can see. So when we connect the noon with the kasra from shaitan onto ar-rajim, we transition to the ra in a heavy way, like this. من الشيطان الرجيم. من الشيطان الرجيم. من الشيطان الرجيم. The ra is heavy. So we'll read it all together now, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, as one. And you can either pause the video and repeat it, but I'll read it like 2-3 times, bi'idhnillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Again. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Last time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Very simple, very calm. When you read the Quran, don't stress yourself. Don't think, this letter has to come from here, it comes from there. It's correct, it does. But don't stress yourself too much. Be relaxed, be calm. This is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should relax you. It shouldn't be something that's stressful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this reading easy. He's made this remembrance easy. So don't stress yourself too much. Be calm, be relaxed, take your time, follow what I've just said here, and read it very calmly. And just to end the video, bi'idhnillah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Just like that, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Like this, we've covered the isti'ādhah, seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it translates to, I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the rejected. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.